what do we want a smart city for? I've got a smart car, I've got a smart toothbrush. Yeah. I can get a belt that's a smart belt. You've heard about the smart belt, haven't you? No. The smart belt, when you put it on and you click it into position, if it goes back a notch, it tells you you're a fat ass. It tells you you've got to lose weight. Now, when I'm at home and I'm putting on my really old leather belt and I have to let it out one notch, I know I'm a fat ass. And I don't have to pay $500 for that to tell me, right? But it doesn't just tell you that, it actually tells you how far you've walked today. Except that my clock, my phone, my watch, my Fitbit, everything tells me how far I've walked today. And not one of them agrees with the other one. It's getting a lot worse. We're getting now clothes with sensors built into them, right? And they will tell you things about your body temperature and how you're going, etc. I'm going to get back to those in a minute. But the most silly one I've heard is the mattress cover. You've heard about the electronic mattress cover. It's a thing you put under your bed sheet and it records your sleeping patterns. And when you wake up the next morning and you look at your iPhone or your Android phone, if you happen to be that way inclined, it tells you how you slept the night before. I know how I slept the night before. If I've had a bad night, I wake up with the shits. If I wake up happy, I've had a good night's sleep. I don't need a sheet to tell me that. That only costs about 90 euros, I think, that particular device. And of course, you can also go for the cervical ring, which is a very good device. When put in the right place, it will tell a woman when she's ovulating so she can call her husband and tell him to come home quickly if you want to have kids. On the other hand, it'll also tell you when not to call your husband to tell him to come home. Okay, so it's a good idea. But I don't know whether it has to stay in during intercourse or after. I've never worked that one out. And of course, the next thing to that will be something that men will use that will tell them or tell the wives when they're ready for action or excited. Better still are the underpants. There are underpants coming out shortly that will tell you when you need to send them to the wash. In case you... No, they're sensing ones. They tell you how many miles you've done in them. How many steps you've done in those underpants. It's happening. Everything that can be digital, of course, will be digital. And there's the baby's feeding bottle. Oh, have you heard about this one? This is a beauty. This is the bottle that measures the inclination of drinking that the baby is having the bottle at, will tell when the bottle is getting empty and whether the baby's been drinking at the right angle to avoid wind. But best of all, it sends a message to the mother when the baby's finished. Now, if she's off skiing somewhere, it's very, very handy to know when your kid's finished the bottle. But better still, you can couple that with the Japanese invention of the century, the diaper, the IoT diaper that sends a message to mum's iPhone when the baby's had a cack or something else and needs a change. Now, it's getting a bit scary, but walk around and think about how the IoT is going to affect your life. Have you got any IoT devices in your house, Louis?
I don't think so. No.
Well, pretty soon you will be. Pretty soon you will be. You're going to have the fridge.
The children.
Oh, you've got the children. They're IoT devices, aren't they? They're connected. They're connected all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But when they want something, they just call out now or send you an SMS. Yeah. Mum, is dinner ready? And they're in the room next door. Yeah. There are offices like that. So, connected cars. Now, when I first heard about connected cars, they said there's going to be connected cars and electric cars. I thought a connected car was an electric car with a very long lead coming out the back. And, you know, it depended how long the lead was, how far you could go in the car. But I got that all wrong because they have batteries in them, apparently. And Tesla have worked out that you can charge the car in 20 minutes or something, or half an hour, and they've got stations across America, so you can drive across America. Even if you don't want to go across America, you'd have to do it just to test out whether it works, you know. You can drive across America with an electric car. But they've just come up with a new device for their IoT. It's got a thing that tells you when the battery's about to run out, and it will send you to a garage on the way, and you pull in, and a robot takes over the car, drops out the batteries on a tray, and puts a whole new set of batteries in. So you don't have to wait for the charge, but you have to pay extra for that service. I want one of those for my pacemaker. If they could just do that automatically, that would be good. Okay. Exactly. So, smart cities. Now, can you imagine after all your personal devices, and I did hear a terrible story only yesterday that there is one company that has got into the sex toys business and has made those IoT, and they actually record the activity of the sex toys and tell you whether you enjoyed them or not at the end of it. Worse still, they send a message to your husband to say whether you enjoyed it more. It doesn't stop. It gets scarier and scarier. But of course, we're talking about telcos here, and everybody has to be connected. And all those devices are going to have to be connected. And all the telcos that are here think they're going to be the ones providing that connection. I've got bad news for them. They're going to be part of the connection. Because at the moment, every one of those silly little devices and those wearable devices connects to your phone or a home management system or a low Bluetooth or Wi-Fi energy source or whatever they're going to be, but it's not going to be talking directly to the network. And the guys that have worked out how to get the app or the home management systems working are the guys that are going to control everything. The only fear I have, and that's why, of course, Google bought Nest. You know, the thermostat. If you have one of those in your house, it will soon control the whole house, whether you like it or not, because everything will talk to it. That's the whole concept. And when Google finds out what's going on in the whole house, the world breaks open. And I'll tell you why. They'll have a little thing on your toilet roll, and as you run out of toilet paper, it'll send a message to deliver your toilet paper. Your printer in the house will run out of ink, it will send a message to and Google will send somebody over. Google will be the transient for all this information. Your fridge will talk to your oven. Your oven will turn itself on and off. And after all those devices in the house are all talking to each other, it's pretty handy because the oven will turn the gas on so you can stick your head into it when it gets that bad. So, wearables. Who's got a wearable device? Come on, own up. No wearable devices up to date? I've got one.
They're lying.
They're lying, of course. They are. Some of them have got those willy rings already and they're not talking about them. I know that. I know for a fact. So, all those wearable devices, forget those. There's millions of... Did you see how many wearable devices there were this week? And they're all talking about different things, and one measures this and one measures that and one does this and one... What are you going to do with a wearable device? I can't wait till they insert a chip in the back of my neck. I want a... What's the word for something they inject in you? An injectable device. That would be good. Or something you swallow. Well, they're doing that already. There's that device that you swallow, the little capsule, and it takes pictures of your alimentary canal and your stomach. But I hope the picture stops when it gets to the other end. It must be rather nasty for the guy on the television screen. But, talk about flushing your life away, that's ridiculous. However, if these devices are going to be so... And this wearable device will mean that when I go to MWC next year, I won't have to register. I won't have to show my photograph. I won't have to have my photograph on my iPhone that is not NFC enabled enough for the MWC system to pick it up. Yeah. That's very complicated, isn't it? And I'll just go, whoop, oh yes, Mr. Poulos, you can go through. Go to the passport, oh yes, Mr. Poulos, you go through. Or more likely for me, yes, Mr. Poulos, you go to that line over there.
But only if it's linked to your LinkedIn account.
Oh, it's got to be linked to some account. And who in their right mind wants to log into anything with their Facebook account? Does anybody actually press log in with Facebook? You've got to be mad to do that. Because Facebook's gone, thank you very much, we'll just collect all that information as it's going through. Everything we're doing is being watched. In Australia, the government, and my good friend here, Mr. Beck, will tell you that the Australian government is trying to pass new laws to collect metadata. They want to collect 2 years of metadata on everything you do on a mobile network. The only problem is, the telcos have had that metadata for 100 years. It's called billing data, where I come from, because the only place all the information comes from is the billing system, right? So they want to keep it for 2 years so they can track terrorists. Now, I've got to tell you, if you have one terrorist attack in your country, your government immediately wants to enforce fantastic rules like the Patriot Act, where 25 years of civil liberties are taken away in an instant under the fear of terrorism. In Australia, we had one attack the other day in a coffee lounge by a loony who was being watched and still got away with it. So even when they know the guy's a loony, he still got away with it. So what's 2 years of metadata going to tell us about that guy? Probably not a lot. But they're wanting the operators to collect all that metadata. The only problem is that the Minister for Telecommunications in Australia, one Malcolm Turnbull, was caught the other day using Wicker to send a message to another government minister. Wicker is encrypted data. They can't track it, even with metadata. So the Minister for Communications and the guy that was hoping to get the new rules passed were using encrypted data. What's the hope for us?
Not much.
Not much hope. So, ladies and gentlemen, should we just give up now and just hand over everything to the governments? Tanner, what do you think? Yes, give up. Give up now. Give up now. Now, for those of you that, anybody got a watch that's a smartwatch? Now, I had the very first iWatch. Do you know that? You know what the first iWatch was? It was an iPod. Remember the little iPods? And my kids bought me one year a wristband. You could make your iPod a watch. And I used to walk around with this. And it was fantastic. But every time you wanted to tell the time, you had to go to make it turn on. And then you had to select watch to see what the watch came on, right? And the battery ran out after 4 hours. So if you had the watch on, your battery ran out. But the good thing was you could listen to music because you'd plug in your earphones and run them up the sleeve. And when you got onto the plane, you were really cool because you had earphones on and nobody could see what they were connected to. It's my watch. And then, of course, it would set off the alarm and you'd have to take it all off. Now, what happened to earphones? Have you seen anybody walking around with earphones? What do they walk around with now? Earphones? No, earphones, the little earbuds. You know, the little things in your ear. You don't see those anymore. Years ago, everyone was walking around walking down the street. Even if there was no music playing, they'd pretend they had an iPod. A lot of young people had they nicked a couple of earphones and had them in their pocket, pretended they were listening to music.
The white cords.
It's just the white cords, right? But now nobody's got them. Now, if you're cool, you've got Beats on. And the bigger they are, the more exciting they are. And the more hip you are, okay? So, it's true, it's true. And that's why Apple bought that company. That's the only reason they bought them, because all the staff had Beats and it was costing them a fortune paying for it. So they thought we'd buy the company and just hand them out to everybody. That's the way to do it. I think what we've got to worry about with all of this is this big data thing. Big data, big data, big data. What's this big data? It's data. It's always been data. Big data. I'm not sure what's going to go wrong with big data, but we're talking about collecting all this information in real time and for telcos to tell me what I need to buy next, or if I'm on the wrong plan or the right plan or this plan, or it could be like Amazon that records every transaction you have and then guides you when you go to buy something, you know, where the next best deal is. Now, I made the mistake once of buying a book written by a friend of mine who was a Himalayan climber. He was the first Englishman to climb Mount Everest from the north and south face. So I bought his book. And every time I get onto Amazon now, I get books on mountain climbing. Now, do I look like a mountain climber? I ask him.
No comment.
Yeah. And it's like going the other day, did anybody go to the airport but anybody go to the airport the other day and get their badge at the airport? You pick it up at the airport?
Yes.
And they said, if you have a photograph of yourself and you can send it to the application, download the application, put your photo online, you can walk through and don't have to show your passport. Yes. Well, that took so long. I said to the guy, okay, I'll do it. And he said, have you got a photo of yourself? I said, no. And he said, well, take a selfie. And that was it. The guy was about 18. And I said, do I look like somebody who takes selfies? And then I walked up to the Cerulean stand yesterday, and all they were doing on the stand was taking selfies, which blew my argument completely apart. Now, we have to stick together, guys. Okay, once you join the selfie group, what is that? So who made up that term? They must be worth $1 million now.
Yeah.
But it's not a technology, is it? It's an act. But that selfie stick that you bought for 20 quid, fantastic, Dominic. You did the world a real good deal there. Keeping going. So, big data. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't wait for my telco to know exactly what I'm doing and what I've been doing, and in real time. And is Dave Peters here? He didn't make it, thank God. I interviewed Dave Peters this morning. He told me that in 250 milliseconds, a telco can see what I'm up to and advise me on what plan I should be on and whether I should buy this instead of that. And I thought, nah. I do not want my telco to tell me what I should be doing or not doing. In fact, I don't want anybody to tell me, because I change my mind all the time, as most people do. You have a wife that tells you what to do is exactly right. Exactly. And mine's out there. She's not talking to me ever again, I know. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's open slather now. You can bring up any subject and I'll tell you what's wrong with it.
Okay.
What happened this week? Did anybody have any experiences this week apart from me, who got on a train today? And you know how bad it's been ridiculous this week, right? The transport, everything's overloaded. I got on a train at España that only goes 2 stops, got on the train, and somebody died on that train. Now let me tell you, it's a very sad thing, but you do not want to get on a Spanish train when somebody dies on it, and there are 5,000 people on it. Because they tried to get all the people off the train, and they wouldn't move. And they couldn't get anybody to this poor woman, and it was terrible. But it meant I was nearly late here tonight, which is a real problem. And for those of you that are on the green line, it wasn't working tonight, that was the reason for it. But has any other things happened this week? Anybody had any exciting things happen to them? Now, 5G. I was going to talk about 5G. I forgot about that. Thanks, John. You know what 5G is, don't you?
No, sure.
It's one more than 4G. And nobody knows what it is. I interviewed the top guy.
That's not true.
It's true.
They released 2 white papers today explaining what it is.
And have you read the white papers?
Yes, I have.
And it doesn't explain anything, does it?
Basically, 5G is very, very fast.
That's exactly what I got. That's exactly. I interviewed exactly right. And it should be.
20 pages to explain it.
Explain that.
It's very fast and very complex.
I think Gigi was in the room with me. I interviewed a senior VP from a very big Chinese company today and said, so you're into 5G? And he goes, yes, we're into 5G. 5G is good. 5G future. And in China we have 4G. You go 5G. And I'm going, well, what does it do? He said, it's very fast. And that's all I got. It's very fast. And how long do I have to wait? He said, oh, how long? Well, first we have talk to people. Then we agree on everything, maybe 6 months, 1 year. And after that, we do trialing, and that's 1 more year. And after that, we do... And I'm going, it's just going to go on forever. I said, so when will we actually see it? He said, oh, 2020. And I said, so we're talking about it now, so everyone's getting excited about it, and everyone's buying a 5G phone tomorrow, but it won't be working until 2020.
Did he say Tai Chi?
Except on the Ericsson stand.
On the Ericsson stand, they have 5G working, don't they? Yeah. It's called Wi-Fi. And let me tell you, I'm a Wi-Fi fanatic. Just give me Wi-Fi. It worked really well this week, I have to say, at the event. It did work, right? Anybody have complaints? Because Cisco got bollocked so badly last year, and they put the passwords everywhere so you didn't get caught out. You go to the men's room, it said wash your hands and here's your password.
Password and the access point name.
And we got new urinals this year, did you notice that? Things are improving this year. We got new urinals. The toilets are fantastic. Because last year we were lined up outside.
Yes, yeah, they're very
Last year if you were desperate to get to the men's toilet, women's toilet there were no lineups. But the men's toilet you're lining up. If somebody was in front of you, you'd say, oh, you dropped something, and as they leaned over, you'd sneak in front of them. I saw one guy go to the urinal, just pull a guy straight off. So oh, you're finished, you've been there long enough, it's my turn, you know. It got desperate. It's like women, when they can't get to a bathroom in time, you know. They line up outside. It's terrible. No, I'm a gentleman. I always say, look, there's nobody in the men's toilet, go in there. And they look at me very strangely. So, any other news from the event before we close off?
One thing about 5G, the golden quote, the best quote of the whole conference.
Yes, the best quote.
About 5G was from Tom Wheeler.
Tom Wheeler said about 5G.
He talked about 5G at the end of the speech, and he said that 5G is like a Picasso painting.
It's like a Picasso painting?
Yeah.
I've got to repeat it because it's for the camera. They can't hear you out there.
Okay. It's like a Picasso painting because everyone looks at it and they see something different.
That's exactly what I'm worried about with 5G. Everyone looks at the painting and sees something different. What can you see different in a Picasso painting? They're all the same. It's like that dress. It's like that bloody dress. It's obviously white and gold. What is wrong with these people that can see blue and black? Don't tell me. Who saw blue and black? Did you see blue and black? All right, blue and black. Blue and black. Put your hand up. Anybody see blue and black? Yeah. All right. You need to go and see an optometrist very quickly. Okay. Either that or you're highly intelligent. That'll be the next thing that comes out. People that see blue and black are highly intelligent. Okay. If there's been... Oh, there was something else.
No, I was saying that Korea said the 2018 games will be the first games 5G.
Korea said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, in Korea it will be. And only the Koreans will, and the Koreans will be the only ones that have handsets that work for that 5G, but it won't work anywhere else, of course. And they'll cheat, it'll be Wi-Fi 5G. It'll be a special version of it. And the thing will swap over automatically to Wi-Fi. They're very good at that, the Koreans.
Tony, one question.
Question.
Smart suitcase.
The smart suitcase. Yeah. No, I haven't seen the smart suitcase. Have you seen the smart suitcase?
Keynote Monday, they got a smart suitcase. I want to know if anyone's seen one.
Did anyone see a smart suitcase on Monday? Now, what was the smart suitcase? What's all that about? Is that one that tells my wife she's got too much crap in the bag?
You can always trace it behind the green.
No, what?
On your phone.
On your phone?
And it tells you how much it weighs before you go.
And it tells how much it weighs before you.
I've got a little thing that was given to me that I got from a stand last year. What stand? It was a good stand. No, it's not. The bag. I'm talking about the scale that you get.
Innovation City. Huh? Innovation City.
Innovation G.
Oh, Jason,
Oh, yes.
Right opposite
the Jasper stand.
no, right opposite the smart toothbrush.
Okay, I went to the toothbrush one.
So after you've brushed your teeth and you go out in the street, it's going to tell you you've crossed the road wrongly and you should go the left and not the right. Yeah, I know that one, the smart city, of course, it'll be like that. A smart city will be when they can get the traffic sorted out and I can get from point A to point B without any effort at all, but it won't happen, of course. Smart cities, forget it. Okay, on that note, I think I'll finish up, unless you've got something else to say, Tanner, because you always got something else to say. You're hungry. Okay, he's hungry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for bearing with me tonight. Have fun. Have fun.